Hello, world. It's me, Electroflora. I'm back. It is Sunday, January 19th, 2025. And this is another episode of Discovering Discipline and Finding Freedom. I feel like every day I'm growing and challenging myself, and it's just so amazing, and seeing the magic that unfolds when being in alignment. So I've been enjoying my journey, all the ups and downs, because the ups are so worth it. And from what I've learned is, in order to genuinely appreciate something, sometimes you have to understand like the opposite of it. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I had a therapist, for example, tell me that in order to fully understand happiness, you have to understand sadness, because there's a contrast, and it's paradox. And when it comes full circle to astrology, this is really a Libra concept. So this is why it's the scales and the only inanimate object in the constellations. Let me pull up my stream though, because again, I have to do it after I start, because I keep looking at myself over here. Manage your stream. Here I am. Okay, now let me get out of this and then open Serato. Please work. Ooh, I made another cup of seaweed tea. Not gonna lie, it just took adjustment. And that's what's exciting about new foods, is you're like kind of shocked and you're like, this is interesting. And it's like, well, you've never tasted it before. So your body's like, do I like it or not? And I feel like I had to think about it. And I was like, I actually really did enjoy that tea. It just, again, because it has seaweed in it, it just has it's going to have a little bit of a saltier taste. I haven't had a sip of it. So one thing I did do differently though is I put extra lemon and honey in it. Oh shit, this might not be a good spot for my mug, but I'm trying so hard to organize my little studio space. Again, I'm very grateful. I'm just so happy to be doing what I'm doing every day, and to have a roof over my head, and just living freely. So cheers to that. Ooh, yeah. See, it is a good tea. Yes, I highly, highly recommend it. It is caffeine free, but again, trying to detox on so many things, which I'm craving weed still. Not gonna lie. I think it's the habit of actually wanting to pick up a vape. But I have to say that another reason that I'm glad that I'm cutting back is those things are so bad for the environment. I can only imagine all the garbage, these like e-cigarettes and like vapes and the cartridges, like those are all going straight to the landfill. Which brings me to something I want to talk about. Is, I don't know if I brought up this book. I got this in college, believe it or not, from my ex-boyfriend. He had read it, and it had inspired him to be an engineer, and he really wanted me to read it, especially since I I was studying to be a civil engineer with environmental engineering option. So if you don't know that about me, yes, I do have my degree. I got it from Cal Poly Pomona. Go Broncos, where I also cheered. We didn't have competitive cheerleading at the time I was on the squad, though. And I don't know if they ever did compete while I was still in school or if they compete now, but I really appreciate my education. It was such a great learning experience, and it was humbling. But man, when I set my mind to something, there's no stopping me. And this is why I have my show, is I feel like the things that I achieved in my life, some of them people said were basically impossible. For example, getting my standing tuck in like tumbling and cheerleading. Typically, women have a harder time learning stunts like that at an older age, and it's because of like the mentality. Typically, women are like, okay, well, here I am like 18, 19, 20 years old. If I do this backflip, I'm going to fall on my head. So a lot of gymnastics, the reason that it's good to put a young child in the sport is to condition them not just physically, but actually mentally. Like gymnastics is such a mental sport. You have to imagine yourself doing these skills and landing them perfectly, because it's such a literal like manifestation. If you imagine yourself falling, you fall. You get scared. Like you're in the middle of the air trying to pull something, you're like, fuck, like now I'm scared. And that's like when girls let out and get hurt and break their arms, it was because they got nervous. So I remember going into tumbling and thinking, you know, I want to tumble so bad. And I knew this was like my late teens. I got my standing tuck when I was 18, unassisted, and was doing it competitively. And I had my round off tuck. So the thing is men, and so the reason I bring up sex is for men, some men, they don't really, I'm not going to say that they don't imagine themselves getting hurt, but they don't think of that as much, because I don't know if it's like ego or more masculine thing, but it's not as uncommon for, I guess, like a male 18-year-old, or like, because I mean, you've seen football players like pull like tumbling stunts. Typically, I think that back tucks are actually easier than back handsprings. So if you don't know the difference between those skills, the back handspring is when somebody is jumping back onto their hands and then like flipping over. The back tuck is a completely vertical, you jump up straight, and at the height, you pull your legs and tuck them completely, and then just there's no hands touching the floor. So I feel like because I had really strong legs and just that there was more technique to the back handspring, that was how I got my back tuck at an older age without having tumbling experience as a child. So that's another thing that I didn't mention is like I'm talking about people who want to go into tumbling past maybe like a elementary school age. And another thing about putting kids in it at a young age is their bones and body are more malleable. So I don't know if maybe their bones don't break as much. So don't quote me on that. I don't know about that, but I'm just saying that I think because their bodies aren't as fully developed as going through puberty, that there is a difference. Anyways, I did bring a snack. I brought basically the same, like nuts and ginger and dried apricots. thought about eating on the show today, but I was like, dude, there's just, and I need to stop saying dude, but that's like in my vocabulary. I'm a millennial. Sorry, not sorry. There's a million things going on in my mind, and I figured that I should probably focus on eating because how I said I have ADHD, that I don't want my food to get cold and me getting distracted. So I made that intention, and that was kind of why I was late, but at least I'm here. I think I need to restart my Twitch, so I'm going to do that on here because it keeps like twirling. Oh yeah, but this book, let me get back to it once I like do all this other bullshit. I didn't forget about it. Okay, now I think it's working. Good. Oh, you can. Oh, if I do Stream Manager from my own iPad, that's interesting. It had the sound already off. So let me do a vocab word. See, here I'm going off track as usual. Just really quickly, because I wanted to pronounce the words. Some of them I was having issues, like I didn't know how to pronounce them. Wait, where are my vocab words? Oh. Okay, cool. I just figured out something that my stream manager, I kept turning down the volume on my iPad because I didn't want there to be an echo. Because again, so let me explain my setup in case anybody ever wants to live stream, because this has taken me over a year now to get where I'm at. I started live streaming Christmas Day of 2024. That was such an exciting day. Sorry, I have to, like, there's no video evidence of it. I didn't know how to save it back then. Oh shit. Okay. It like paused for a second. Okay, talking about like my setup. I mean, so the first thing that I felt like getting the microphone, because once I got the microphone, that was when I was like, okay, this live streaming thing is going to be for reals. So I started with that, and I had only the microphone and, oh no, I did have my equipment because I had bought that in November of 2024, but I did not know how to use the controller at all. So I was going to learn how to DJ on Twitch. Then where did I go from there? I was live streaming, and which I still do. I live stream from my laptop, and I also have a DJ software which is called Serato running on my laptop, which I want to eventually separate this. So if you do not DJ and are interested in getting into that, there's a difference between having the equipment that already has the computer like kind of built into it. Those are, I guess, CDJs. Hopefully I'm getting this correct because I don't have those. But my setup is where the controller, where you actually mix the music, because this is considered an instrument in its own form or in its own way, is separated from the computer. So like the brain and where I have to do the actual music stuff is in my own computer. So I've had to learn a lot about technology in this journey, but it's been exciting, and I feel like nothing intimidates me, because the second thing that I guess I have to get into with how I feel like growth mindset was, again, my tumbling skills, how I learned them at an older age, and then engineering. I got F's in high school in math, and I think that was also kind of a mixture of just having like mental health issues and like, I don't want to say like problems at home, but like I didn't like communicate really well or express myself. So I just had a lot of needs that weren't met emotionally, and it caused, and of course I've said how I've grown up with a single parent. So I just felt like I wasn't nurtured or like had the things that I needed, and like I don't blame anybody for it, and so don't think that I'm like being harsh on that. I think that these are like the challenges of doing better than your parents and your children doing better than you, and like this is like how generational trauma gets healed, because you have to reflect on like how maybe my parents were raised, like how I talked about this whole situation in one of my live streams about like being married and understanding like how different somebody else was raised, and like how there was just like traditional roles and my ex-husband's like upbringing, and I like didn't understand that because I didn't grow up with a father who was like present. So just a lot of learning, and I guess it all is through experience, but I don't know how I got off on the tangent of that, but I was going to get into my education is that, I was getting off on that tangent of why I felt like I didn't do well in school. That was why I feel like I just couldn't concentrate, for one. And then like moving around a lot, like I just didn't have a stable education. So that like sucked, because I went to 11 like public schools by the time I graduated high school in 4 different states. So I just had to like constantly meet people, have to constantly reinvent myself. So I was always on the go. So I feel like I can't stay steady because that was how I was raised. And then anyways, but going back to my education is people say, oh, I'm bad at math. I'm bad at math. Well, you're fucking bad at math because you're saying you're bad at math. And I was one of those people. But when I said that I wanted to be an engineer and they said, oh, you're going to need calculus and physics. And I said, I didn't know what that was. And I had to do remedial math, by the way. So when I had graduated high school, I was below college level algebra. So I had to take because they do like a placement test. So I got placed in that. So I had to do basically like a year and a half of remedial math just so I could be a freshman in level college for engineering major. So I feel like school didn't prepare me in that sense, but the education system fosters the kids who really try in certain aspects. And I feel like I got overlooked a lot. And I feel like I got overlooked because, I think I was actually pretty shy now that I think about it. It's like I was shy, but I was always a really determined person. So I guess that's kind of like a reflection in Electroflora too. Is I had to have a pen name so that I could like be myself, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like I actually am a pretty reserved, shy person, and can be quiet. But at the same time, I like performing and I'm okay with being the center of attention. But overcoming that is what I'm saying. Is I said I want to be an engineer. Fuck all that noise. Because I even had a counselor say, that's really hard. Are you sure you want to do that? And I said, yeah. And I just walked out of there and I went and I took like a pre-calculus course. Because that was the thing, is even though I did like pre-college algebra, then I did college algebra, I decided to do pre-college or pre-calculus because I just didn't feel strong in my mathematics in general. It was basically like I didn't start taking math seriously until community college. So that was why there was so much remedial math. And then once I got into college, I started failing courses because I genuinely could not grasp the concepts. Like the first time I took physics, that was like so over my head. I didn't understand velocity. I didn't understand acceleration. Like I don't understand calculus. Like what is this like rate of change? Because this was also calculus based physics that I couldn't take until after I took calculus. So this is why my timeline of taking 7 years to graduate in civil engineering with an environmental engineering option took so long. I wasn't prepared for it at all. And I'm first generation college. So my parents finished high school, and I think like my grandparents had finished like, or maybe went up to like a couple like elementary school. So it was really important to them that I got an education because I think that that's something that they always wanted. So this is a privilege, I guess, in their eyes. So this is what I'm talking about with generational, like trying to do better than your parents, because here I am achieving the things that they didn't have, and here I am wanting something that is different. So, you know, they didn't have therapy. They didn't talk about their feelings. Typically from what I hear with these generations. So just breaking the cycle, but that's what we're here to do. Let me put on some music now that I've like chatted for who knows how long. I was looking for new music because I have a open decks coming up on Thursday, I believe. Okay, I've done 2 words. Incisive, impressively direct and decisive, as in manner or presentation. Trite, hackneyed or boring from much use, not fresh or original. My stream keeps like freezing.
Borderline, there she goes on the left side. Merry-go round people, little white lies. I know that it's over, so where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, you know that I know that it's over, so where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, don't let the heartbreak hit you on the Saturday night. Come meet me halfway in between dark and the light, 'cause
like extra lemon though. Okay, so I did 4 words. We did incisive, trite. Gosh, hopefully I pronounce it. Was it nascent? See, I already forgot. And the last one was acerbic, which the way that I would have pronounced it just by looking at it, to me it looks like acerbic. But again, I've stated this before. You should never make fun of anybody who pronounces a word wrong if they used it correctly, because that means that they just learned it by reading. So, acerbic, sharply or bitingly critical, sarcastic or ironic in temper, mood, or tone. Okay, I'll put this away. Yay. Oh, and if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm trying to move these old vocab words to just one notebook because it's hard. So I was having an issue with reading and then writing these vocab or writing down the words that I didn't know just like on Post-its, and I'm trying to put it all in one place. So I just have like a vocabulary word notebook because this was getting messy, and then I was losing the papers, and then I feel like I'm not even really reviewing them because it's messy. But I feel like if I have a designated vocabulary word notebook, that I can go back and look at the words that I learned. Cool. Ooh, okay, so 2 things that I found. Hello, welcome. So 2 things that I found that I was looking for on one of my last shows, but I couldn't find them. Have you been here before? Do you know about my show? I'm into astrology, so I was just going to show this thing. It's called a perfection wheel, and it's based on your rising sign. And it's an overview of like when it's your birthday. I like to think of it almost like a tree ring. And it starts from the middle, like, so this is the ascendant line. And this ascendant line you can find in like all charts. So we're talking about just the shape, like never mind the colors or anything else that's going on. We're just looking at the circle. But it always starts from here, which would be like the negative X coordinate, like on an X and Y graph. But starting from here, it then goes counterclockwise. So, and that's the thing about, welcome back. So I don't know if you know about perfection years, but they're a good way to look at a like overarching theme of what to expect in your year to come, starting from your birthday, because this takes into account what, depending on, because I've talked about the difference between Placidus system and whole sign. Again, this is just a way of interpretation. Neither one is wrong. It's like, and I like to compare it to saying like, if we were using numbers and somebody wanted to use like 2.9347623, or the next person's like, oh, I just want to use the number 3. To me, that's kind of like the same concept. I feel like Placidus, it takes into consideration the like distortion from like being on spheres and like from our point of view looking into the sky, and like, so it takes into more like spatial data, when whole sign to me is like, oh, I just want to round it off. Like Taurus is right here. This is Sagittarius. This is that, which is, again, neither one is wrong. And you can, as long as you understand the differences. And I like to look at both. So this is an overarching theme of like taking into account what house, like what constellation is ruling your particular house, and then based on your age is going to be a theme. So here, it's kind of hard to see because I know I printed it out, but like just zooming in, like this was when I was born. So I was born in 1987, and that's like 0. And then, so I'm a Sagittarius rising. So like the first year of my life was going to have Sagittarius theme. Then you go into the next little part. Here's like being 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then you just go around the wheel. So right now, I'm in my second house perfection. Like that's how you would word it. And my second house is ruled by Capricorn. So when you look at my actual birth chart, Capricorn was touching that line. And then, so I'm a card game player too. Like I love poker. I like spades. I can play gin rummy. I like to think of this almost like a little poker, or not poker. I like to think of it as like spades, because spades, it's like whoever trumped that, like they win the whole, like, they call it winning the book. I haven't played spades in forever though, but if anybody wants to play, I'm down. I like to think of it as like they won that house. Like when you're on that line, like now that's the ruler of the whole house, and they kind of like flavor it and take, I don't want to say take control, but like they bring their qualities into it. So for me, being 37 years old, and I've gone around this ring now 3 times, I'm going to have Capricorn, like vibes in my house of value and money and security. And then like I'm so excited for my next third house perfection, because the third house is ruled by Gemini and like communication. And I'm just really interested because now that I've gotten into all of this, I'm wondering what it's going to bring me. But mine, for example, I have Aquarius on the cusp of the third house. So Aquarius now rules all of my third, essentially. Even though I'm into Placidus system, it's not going to show this because like the actual divisions of how it looked in the sky with the spatial data. But again, this is like a rounding type figure. So having Aquarius in my third house, I'm so interested now that and one thing that I wanted to bring up is just how much I love the entire zodiac. They're each so special in their own way, and just like sitting down and like getting to understand them individually and like each role they play. It's like, it's the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world, like in all of existence. And I wish people would see it. It's so pretty. Like it's more beautiful than artwork. Like this is the heavens. It's gorgeous. It's mind blowing. I love it. And that's why I can't get enough of it. I love reading it all day, every day. I mean, sometimes I'll take a little break because I'm like, wow, I'm just gone down the rabbit hole of like aspects or asteroids, but I'm always looking up stuff. It's like never ending, and it never will end. And they're always finding out new things. I mean, the asteroids are more recent, and then now there's like galactic birth charts, which are a whole nother level playing field. That's looking at what galaxies were behind the planets with the constel, because okay, so if you look at, this is basically what it is. So astrology is what planet in front of what constellation from our point of view. So, for example, I'm just going to give an example. I could have Venus that's in Taurus like this, okay? So here's the Taurus constellation of stars. It's behind the planet. Now, behind the constellation are now more galaxies. So they're saying on a whole nother level, and again, this is like so new. Like I'm talking about like, I don't even know how old, like I can't even guess. Like if I were to say maybe 10 to 20, maybe 30 years, but I don't think it's definitely doesn't go earlier than 80s, I don't think. But they're saying that also can have some insight of where you come from, or like just more insights to existence, I guess. So I've done a galactic birth chart reading and was talking to people on Reddit. And again, you can take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying I don't know how to explain these things. I'm just providing the audience with information that I have learned and sought out and find interesting. But for example, like having like beyond the Taurus constellation, there could be like the Pleiades or like Andromeda. You've probably heard some of those names now. What else was on there? I actually have mine somewhere without all these fucking papers. Oh no, I don't know where my galactic birth chart is. Because I could not pronounce some of those galaxies. They were really out there. Oh, I do have it. I knew I had it. Okay, here I'm going to give an example. So when my sun was in Taurus, beyond it, you could see the Pleiades. When my moon was in Pisces, beyond the Pisces constellation, you could see Canis Major. Like my MC in Virgo, beyond Virgo was Andromeda. Beyond Gemini was Orion. Lyra, Canis Major, Centaurus. I mean, some of this is... I like reading about it. I find it interesting. I mean, what harm does it do? People... You know what it is? People take life too seriously. And I'm being 100% honest. I actually feel sad for people who don't find the beauty or magic in this. Whether you want to believe it or not, I try to not get offended or anything, but I feel like I've been so involved in astrology that I forget that some people like think it's stupid. I forgot. So I've had some situations where they're like, yeah, I just don't believe any of that. And I'm like, okay. And then I think about it. I'm like, no offense, but like this is coming from a person who, I mean, maybe they kind of read, but like, have they read to the extent like of all the stuff that I have in terms of astrology, astronomy, like physics, like metaphysics, philosophy, like a lot of this comes together. And that's when they say like we're all connected. It's like, I don't know, like a key just unlocks, and understanding like we're part of like a fabric, and like movement and things have a ripple effect, and we're also not alone. Like I don't know if it's Star Wars level type shit, but dude, there's no way that we're here for no fucking reason. And that we're the only ones out of this whole Grand universe. And that's what like this is saying, is like we come from the stars, but beyond the stars, it's like where did the stars come from? But I don't know. I haven't read way too much into this stuff. So again, as you can tell, I have my Mercury in Gemini, which is like, I just love to absorb information. And I feel like I get a pretty good fundamental knowledge of things, but I'm not an expert on anything. So, but I'm fine with that. I love exploring life and all there is to learn. I just love so many subjects. And I was really thinking about it. I was talking to somebody how they're still in school, and I just like, I miss that. I love school. And I know I've talked about school being hard, and it was because I don't like being in like desks and shit. Like, again, I guess that's like the hyperactive person in me. Like, I can't sit still or focus too long. Like, I hate the lecture type. Like, I like more of a dynamic learning. And I think that was why I loved Cal Poly Pomona so much. It was learn by doing. I had a lab. They wanted us to be in clubs. We had to have internships. So we had something called University Hour, and I didn't realize how valuable that was until I saw some other schools that didn't have that. And I'll give you an example. So Cal Poly Pomona's University Hour, what that means is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they don't have any classes on campus anywhere. But they really push clubs, organizations, sports. Like, they really want you to be involved in the school. So what that does is during that time, basically all the clubs are running. Events are going on. Like, it's just a really social hour. I took that for granted. When I graduated college and moved here to North Carolina, I wanted to get more involved. So I did stuff with NC State, specifically with, I did a lot of things with Society of Women Engineers, and then my sorority, Sigma Kappa, and Panhellenic, actually. So Sigma Kappa is under Panhellenic organization, which is the umbrella organization that runs all of the like sororities. But these kids, they would meet in the fucking middle of the night, or like nobody would show up to their like meetings, and I'm like, this is like kind of sad. Like, I feel like it doesn't foster that environment when they didn't put any emphasis in it. So like, talking about clubs and like my school, dude, we would roll deep into, like, for example, Society of Hispanic Engineers. Cal Poly had one of the largest chapters, and like over like, I swear, 130 students going to, I think I went to Washington DC, but they've had other conferences. I can't remember where off the top of my head. With Society of Women Engineers, we went to Baltimore, Maryland. I really enjoyed that trip. I love going to conferences. I love learning things. Again, even if I wasn't going to work at that company, I just loved exploring the booths and seeing what type of jobs were out there and what people do for a living, and companies and what companies do. But I saw everything. John Deere, Google, Boeing, government, schools. It was like such a great experience. But damn, now there's like two things I want to talk about because it's in front of me. But really quickly, how I was talking about this book, is I need to reread it so that I can have a different and fresh perspective. But people think that recycling is like the best thing to do. No, recycling is on the bottom of the chain. This Cradle to Cradle book is written by a chemist and a architect. And they get into how we need to fucking stop designing shit that has like these short ass lifespans. Or we need to have like better design or technology where we're just not producing waste. It's like, why do we live in this society that produces so much fucking garbage that goes to landfill? And it drives me crazy. And I think that that's why I have a hard time throwing away things, is it's also the environmental aspect in me. Like, I designed landfills in college. Like, that was like one of my classes, and that was also on my exam. So I have a hard time throwing away things because I know it's going into the earth. So one of my sustainability posts that I know I've talked about, and I just haven't gotten to it because, again, this is going to take time. I'm newer to writing, but I am taking it seriously, and I'm so excited for it. It's like I feel like a little investigative journalist, but then I'm also an artist because I get to do it in my own flair. But going and seeing my projects and talking about sustainability, and then also diverting waste from the landfill, especially with like textiles, clothing. I know that I have a lot of clothing and I'm a consumer, so I'm part of the problem. We all are. But what are some ways that we can minimize, or what are some options? And I can tell you for certain that I feel like consignment is not a good option. I haven't made any money off of it. It's extremely slow. I don't know. Maybe other women have had an easier time with it, or maybe I just haven't found the right shop for me. But I mean, they've had my stuff for a while, and I thought I gave them good stuff. I mean, I worked at Saks Fifth Avenue, so it was all designer. Okay, so second thing I wanted to talk about, because I had those two thoughts in my head, was about the book. How I do need to reread it, and I did start it so I can have my blog posts, and I think I'm going to also do some vlogs. So there's more sustainability coming soon. I haven't forgotten about it. Okay, going back to astrology, degree theory. So I'm into all sorts of shit, but when it comes to would I use the word esoteric, or I don't know. I guess like my more spiritual stuff is like, I love numerology, sacred geometry. I'm always looking for patterns. And so I guess some guy, I don't know what year it was, but it was more recently in like astrology history. He has a theory that each number has a vibration that resonates with each constellation or zodiac. And again, we talk about patterns, how I said starting at the ascendant. So again, Aries rules this house if we're not looking at the middle. But if we add numbers into it and say, okay, well, let's just add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we go up to 12. Now when we get to 12, we keep counting 13. And then 14, and then 15, 16. So then we go back around. So going from all the degrees from 1 to 29, how that means that they have a frequency of that respective, shit, I know I need to get my nails did. That's tomorrow. What's it called? Oh yeah, how they resonate. So I kind of, the reason there's like these little lines on the outside was I was trying to see, just based on my chart, if I only broke it down into the planets, the sign they were in, the house they were in, and then the degree. Like what, and I gave a point for each. Turns out I'm the heaviest in Libra when you break it down like that, because I thought that I didn't really have any Libra in me, but I have a lot of Libra degrees. And then like the more I thought about it, I was like, well, Libra is all about balance and harmony and like the scales. And I was like, Electroflora is all about balance and tension. So I found that interesting. And here I am over here thinking like there's barely any Libra in me. But I mean, when I did a line for each, I mean, I had the entire zodiac in me, so there was nothing missing. I mean, we do have it all, but it's like how much plays into us, because somebody could just be, you know, really heavy. And for example, me, I guess I'm really heavy in Taurus and Libra. But I think the magic with astrology is just seeing, again, I know I already said it, I think I just get really excited. It's just how beautiful they are. I look at them individually and I'm like, Aries and Taurus and Gemini, I'm like I can't even really, okay, maybe there's some that aren't as much my favorite, but I still love them. I feel like, for example, I'm learning to love Leo a little more. Leo, I feel like I've kind of struggled with, but I think that there's reasons behind that. I feel like Scorpio, I've really grown into. Sagittarius, like once I realized that was my rising sign and how much it played a role in my life, like Sagittarius like just took off like through and through. And one of my sisters also has a Pisces moon, so I feel like I've met several Pisces moons, and let me just say, us Pisces moons, we really are very emotional people, extremely emotional and creative and romantic. I've seen that quality in other Pisces moon people. Learning to love Cancer too. Cancer has taken a whole new level for me. Okay, if I could like put it into words, I feel like some of the like shit, like how do I even put this into words? I guess it's just been a journey diving into them at the times that I needed to dive into them and find meaning and like purpose and like, I guess just some affirmation that I'm not alone in this, or that I'm not making this up. But yeah, I'm just, again, an appreciation for every single one of them. Like I've really been thinking about Capricorn lately. I've been thinking about Aquarius a lot. I mean, I feel like Aquarius, and so I have in my first house, even though it's ruled by, or I have my house ruler as Sagittarius because I'm a Sagittarius rising. I noticed that, so I have Saturn and Uranus in there, which are both planets that represent Aquarius. So this is where I'm talking about how I find like synchronicities. Other people probably can't see them because I'm seeing them from my point of view, but I think that's where I get my like quirkiness from, is even though I don't have any Aquarius placements, I have these Aquarius like degrees, and then and then the rulers of Aquarius are then in my first house, and then they like play out even more in my life. I know there's a gajillion things I want to do with my life, but I want to go to astrology school after yoga school. And I want to go to music school. I want to learn so many things. It's so like, I can't get enough. And like, this is what I'm trying to do, hoping that my art can somehow just let me learn too. Like, they can go together and it be fun. I mean, not have to sit in a fucking desk. I just don't like those little desks that have like the little tiny, like, who the fuck were those for? Like, if I'm studying, I need a big ass, I need this. I need to spread out. I need to put my shit everywhere. Oh, one thing I do want to bring up that I feel helped me also find an appreciation for all of these, for the beautiful zodiac signs, is I had gotten the full set of the zodiac pens, and I only use the respective one during its season. So right now is Capricorn. This is Capricorn pen, and it's been like a little ritual for me to like put the pen away and then bring out the next one. So if you're trying to dive into learning more about the entire zodiac and just understanding that you have all of it in you, I think that finding it in the daily, or like appreciating it, the zodiac during its season, and, you know, reading about it, and, you know, sense, like, this is all in the full experience. It's like, what is it all about? Like, you know, they have colors that resonate with them, certain jewels, the Kundalini shit, which I kind of read some stuff, and I'm pretty sure that when I go to yoga school, I'll learn even more about it. But I guess, yeah, I don't know about Kundalini, so let me not even get into it. But I think that the general consensus or idea that I've grasped is that, I guess, based on different colors and like alignment, that they also have frequency with the body, and going back to, god damn it, let me just like pull it up. Kundalini. Oh, if you haven't gone on my if you haven't gone onto my YouTube, I just posted a short of me orbiting while I was DJing. I was in another fairy dress. Oh yeah, Kundalini. Okay, Kundalini is the term for a spiritual energy or life force located at the base of the spine. Oh, it's only the bottom part? I thought it was like, oh, it's the chakras. That's what I was thinking. Sorry. Okay, Kundalini is only one thing. That's totally something different. So chakras. Chakras. Okay, that's what I was interested in. 7 chakras. See, they have a color resignation or like frequency with them. And then I bet you, let me see chakras. Let me type in chakras and astrology, and I bet you $5 that somehow they're like connected. Okay. Yeah. So this is why I want to study yoga in Asia. Is I want to dive more into like Eastern philosophy, but they're bringing up that, I mean, the chakras are Eastern, or like they come from like Eastern traditions, I guess. But then trying to merge it with like Western philosophies, but they're saying that there's 7 of them, and then they correspond with the 7 planets: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Because those were the only.
Part-time lovers, I can feel your touch picking me up from the underground. I don't need my drugs. We could be more than just part-time lovers. Hey. I can feel your touch picking me up from the underground. Yeah. I don't need my drugs. We could be more than just part-time lovers. My mind to rest.
I decided to do a that moon tracker from that Moonmology book. I did this. I printed it out on one of my earlier episodes. I don't know which one exactly. But I'm excited for the new moon on the 29th. That will be the Lunar New Year as well. It's going to be the year of the snake. I finished my tea. It was good though. I have like at least one swig left, but it was bomb. I liked it with the lemon because I didn't do lemon last time because I wanted to fully taste the tea, and since it was my first time. I was about to say that I wanted to get off of the show just because one person stopped by and said hi and then they left. But not that it bothers me. I was going to say that I was thinking of rolling out and then I was like, no, I need a plan and I don't want to step away. So let me do this right now. And that's where I'm at. So I pulled out my kit that is like it's a winter one that I guess I got in 2022. I said I have so many stickers and washi tape that I'm not buying anything at this moment unless there's literally nothing I need. So I've been trying to power through all this excessive shit I have. But it's fun. This is like the creativity and this is helping me see what's coming up for the week. And like I didn't realize that tomorrow's Martin Luther King Day, and he is somebody that I have how to make a beat loop from my controller. Something that I should know how to do already. I was doing loops when I first got my controller, but I don't fucking know. I fell off the bandwagon with that, but again, I'm DJing this week and I have got to... I need to fucking learn how to do something. Like, me just switching out the tracks is it's getting old. I need some flavor. The sunset is so pretty. It's on this side though. I love looking at the sky. It's gorgeous. So I do have a Fem House session this week, and I also have open decks, Martin Luther King Day, and I start yoga school in like a month. Like in-person training. So I've already gotten through quite a bit of my online school. So I'm not too worried about that. I don't feel behind at all. But I do need to start planning on what I want to bring and what to pack and if I need to buy anything. So that's going to be fun, and I better not do it last minute. I think, you know what I need to do? I think I need to set an alarm for tomorrow. I haven't set an alarm in ages, and again, yoga school's in a month, and I'm going to have, I have to be there at 6:30 in the morning. So let me start getting in the habit now of at least starting to wake up at a certain time, because again, if you don't know me, I haven't worked and I kind of have been living like a princess. I genuinely believe that God has been providing for me, and that this has carried me for quite a bit. But I have to live in this reality. I know I need a job, and that there's only a finite amount of resources I have. So I have to do things in order to acquire income. So that's my next step in my journey. But I'm not in a rush, because I'm into metaphysics and trying to show people the way that I live and think and see how it all turns out. But I mean, I feel happy and I'm in the present right now, so nothing else matters. People get so caught up in things that aren't right in front of their face, and this is what causes anxiety. And I have to touch on that, as I said that I felt like I was struggling in certain aspects with people, and I don't know, things I think kind of turned around for that. So I feel good in general. Just a little nervous, and I think it's because of the uncertainty, but I have to embrace that. We never know what's going to happen, and especially when you take risk. That's the thing, is taking bigger risks has a bigger unknown. People who just play it safe and are going to stay in the cubicle, you're going to be sitting in the cubicle forever, unfortunately. So I'd rather do this and see what the fuck happens, because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, but at least I enjoy what I'm doing. And I'm excited. And I want to share. I've learned a lot about sharing. Art is sharing and opening yourself up and being okay with that. So it's been, again, such a great journey. So I hope I inspire people to do the things that they want to do and maybe felt a little too scared to try them. Don't be scared. I ate all my snacks this time. The new moon isn't until the 29th, so Maybe that's why I feel like such an urgency to like wrap things up in a way. Or I feel like there's more initiative in me, I've noticed. Like, since I've woken up today, I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I posted, well, and I even did some things today. Like, I know I posted something on YouTube. It was a short. I posted my mix either yesterday or like 2 days ago. So I've been creating. Oh, and I did a blog post. See, there's just so many things. I like to do washi tape and stickers, but I'm not crazy with them. I'm very minimalistic when it comes to my decor. They call it deco, more specifically. In the planning world, definitely gonna keep my brain dump out for tomorrow morning. Sorry, I'm just contemplating on what I wanted to do tomorrow. Because I haven't announced it on here, but I decided I wanted to do site walk. Well, I mean, it's not really site walk anymore, but I wanted to do like a walkthrough of some of my projects that have been completed as a civil engineer that I haven't checked on or walked through. And I think it would be really cool to do like a series segment on YouTube on tell people about my experience and what I did on the project, and I don't know, just reminisce. And I don't know. Well, I don't want to say I don't know, but I know what I'm doing. It's so that I want to like just spread more knowledge about like what civil engineers do, because we build infrastructure and we do some really cool things, but it seems like it's so in the background that people just kind of like literally walk all over what we do, and then like don't really think two thoughts about like where it came from or how it even got there. So I'm excited, and I already know what my first project I'm gonna do. So that was kind of what I was staring off into space. I was like, should I do yoga first thing in the morning? Which I think I am, because I really need to get on a yoga schedule. But like I said, I have been studying, and I feel good about that. I don't feel behind. But I do need to start thinking again about like packing, because I'm going to be gone for a while. But I think I'm going to head out. I had a good session and got to wear a fun fairy dress as usual. It's my favorite type of clothes. It invokes the fairy in me if I'm not wearing just straight up like festival gear. But I hope you all take care and have a wonderful evening, and just know that I appreciate everybody who supports me in my artwork. It means a lot to me, and I just hope you learned something, or I hope to inspire or help in any way I can. So I hope you all take care. Peace, love, unity, respect, and responsibility. Bye.